Hey yo, what's good guys? Today I'm going to be explaining the Fire Emblem Heroes Iceberg. For those that don't know, an iceberg chart displays a bunch of facts and theories about a specific topic, with entries towards the top or the tip of the iceberg being more well known, and entries towards the bottom being more obscure. This particular chart I got from the Fire Emblem Heroes subreddit, and the link to the original post will be in the description below. This chart is a little old, so some entries may be outdated. If you guys enjoy this video, then maybe I'll make a part 2 with some more recent Fire Emblem Heroes facts and theories. But without further ado, let's delve right into the water and see how deep the iceberg goes. Takumi was OP. When the game first launched, skills could not be inherited through any means. This meant that a unit's base kit was all they got. For a unit like Takumi, who came with close counter, this was a blessing. This combined with his at the time good stat spread made him a force to be reckoned with even after skill inheritance was introduced. Bonus units in Arena needed to get all kills for full score. The Arena mode in Fire Emblem Heroes has different bonus units that change every week, and you're required to use one on your team to score optimally. In August 2018, a change was made to the Arena that made it so if your bonus unit kills an enemy unit, you get 3 points added to your score. This could be done to the whole enemy team, meaning a potential extra 12 points per match. What this meant was that your bonus unit would have to wipe out every unit on the enemy team to stay in the higher ranks. This led to a meta where the entire rest of your team would be left supporting your bonus unit, who most of the time was pretty crappy. In December 2019, this was changed so that your bonus unit only had to get 1 kill to get the plus 12 points per match. This is still in effect today. Certain characters can't see when you give them some accessories. Some units have an eye patch or strand of hair covering one of their eyes. There are also some accessories like eye patches that cover one eye. When you combine these two, this results in a unit that just can't see at all. There are also some accessories that completely obstruct any unit's vision. Tap Battles is gone forever. Tap Battles is a game mode in Fire Emblem Heroes that has nothing to do with combat and is just a rhythm game. Needless to say, it wasn't the most popular mode in the world. When this chart was written, it had been 5 months since the last Tap Battle event, and everyone had assumed the mode was dead. In the time since, we actually have had another in April 2021, which has been the only one in the last 2 years of the game's lifespan. So yeah, now it probably is actually dead. Warrior maps. In September 2017, to celebrate the release of the new Fire Emblem Warriors game, Fire Emblem Heroes released a series of maps that featured a leader with a ton of weak reinforcements to mimic the playstyle of the Warriors game. Coincidentally, these maps were all great for leveling up units due to the high density of weak units. These warrior maps were replaced by a daily special training map with a high density of units to make training a breeze. Iceberg. There's a skill in Fire Emblem Heroes called Iceberg. This is an iceberg chart. That's pretty funny. Jorge was botted into winning CYO. Jorge is an unplayable shopkeeper from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Every year, Fire Emblem Heroes holds a voting event where you can vote for your favorite Fire Emblem character of all time called Choose Your Legends. In the second and first year, Jorge, unsurprisingly, had a very small amount of votes, getting 758th and 798th place respectively. However, in the third year, Jorge had an astonishing leap all the way up to 161st. A random character going from 21 to 1,598 votes seemed very suspicious to the fake community, but not to the developers, and so that year, as a direct result of this leap, Jorge was made playable in the Fire Emblem Heroes game. It was later found out that one person was campaigning for people to vote for Jorge on the Fire Emblem Heroes subreddit. That same person also left detailed instructions on how one would go about making a voting bot in the event. So yeah, this guy definitely single-handedly got Jorge playable. Second Anniversary Free Pick. During Fire Emblem Heroes' second anniversary event, there was a summoning event where you would receive a random 5-star seasonal hero that had been released in the last year of the game. A similar event has happened every year since. Ephraim Dev Bias. In an interview with a Fire Emblem Heroes developer, when asked how the game will handle power creep, he responded by saying everyone has their favorites, and that he would personally be upset if Ephraim were to be power crept. This dev would be given the nickname Ephraim Dev. The community then noticed a pattern where new lance units would be noticeably weak compared to Ephraim and his ults, attributing this phenomenon to the bias of Ephraim Dev himself. This theory doesn't really hold up today, as there have been a lot of good lance units that aren't Ephraim, but at the time it was pretty fun. 6 unit new hero banners. The first banners in the game's lifespan would come with 6 new heroes as opposed to the current 4. Overall, the fact that it is now 4 is a good thing because 5 stars have a better chance of showing up on 4 unit banners. Brave Roy was always outclassed in every point of FaZe history. When Brave Roy was first released, people were somewhat underwhelmed. His stat spread was similar to his father Eliwood, who was a 4-star as opposed to Roy being a 5-star, and Roy's weapon was just the Heavy Blade effect, which was available as an A skill. The comparison between Brave Roy and Eliwood would become even more apparent when Brave Roy got a weapon refine and the 4-star Eliwood was able to equip the same exact new weapon that Roy had just gotten. Because of this, Brave Roy has pretty much been outclassed by his father at every point of the game's history. Voting gauntlets didn't have multipliers. Voting gauntlets put 4 characters against each other in a tournament-style voting event where you earn points for your team by winning. The earlier voting gauntlets were purely decided by the number of points each team had, so the team with more members would win. There was a change that gave the current underdog a score multiplier, making the matches much more back and forth. Disgusting. In Paralog 1, Part 3, Ephraim talks about the bond he shares with his sister Erica. He goes on to say, quote, "Our bond is so strong that some fools dare spread lies about us. Disgusting." This implication of incest was a shock to the community, and the word disgusting would become a huge meme. 100k point Tempest Trials with no bonus units. Tempest Trials is a mode where you have to grind out a series of maps to accumulate points towards rewards. The earlier Tempest Trials required you to get 100,000 points for maximum rewards, as opposed to today's 50,000. The first Tempest Trials in particular was notoriously hard, being nearly impossible to auto-battle. This led to a lot of players not even getting the first 50,000 point reward, the Quick and Pulse seal, making it so the developers would have to re-release it a few events later. Some of these early Tempest Trials also had a bonus units which were hard to obtain. 50 stamina and training tower cost doubled. When the game launched, players had half the amount of stamina they do now, and the stamina cost for playing matches in the training tower was double what it is now. This made it difficult for players to level up their units, having to frequently wait for stamina to regenerate. 100 Feather Christmas Celebration. On Christmas Day in 2017, the login bonus rewards just so happened to line up so that players who logged in every day would get no free orbs and just immediately 100 feathers. Merry Christmas! IS seem to have learned their lesson, as every year since we've gotten a bunch of free summons on Christmas Day. Faye is the strongest unit in the game. On April 1st, 2019, the Nintendo Mobile YouTube channel will release a video titled "Something Legendary Joins the Battle." Expecting a new legendary hero, players were surprised to learn that the game's own mascot, Faye, would be playable. She came with a weapon with 999 plus attack, a unique assist skill that allows Faye to, quote, "do her best impression of any hero, if they don't mind," and a unique B skill titled question mark, whose effect was, "target can't help but watch what happens." The trailer then showed a bunch of other versions of Faye with different hats destroying stuff in one hit. 5 stars on this banner would have an appearance rate of 0%. The end of the video read, "There are absolutely no plans to make Faye available in any summoning event. April Fools." Tempest Trials units never had any means to get more copies until Aether Raids got introduced. Aether Raids came with the addition of the Heroic Grail system, which allows you to obtain copies of event-exclusive units. Prior to this, you can only get a few copies of these units, meaning they can only be +1 or 2 at max. If you don't know what to invest your Heroic Grails into, maybe check out my tier list on units that can be acquired this way. Golden Week 2020 was just 15 tickets on the picnic banner. Golden Week is a period of time in May where a lot of Japanese holidays all line up, so this week is often celebrated in gacha games. Golden Week celebrations in 2019 for Fire Emblem Heroes included reruns of the Choose Your Legends winners with 10 free summons, which were very valuable. Come 2020 and the Golden Week celebrations were 15 free summons on a pretty useless year-old banner. People were very disappointed by this. Iragate. Iragate was possibly the biggest controversy in the game's entire lifespan thus far. An update featuring units from the Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War game was released in 2017. On the main summoning banner, 3 new units were available: Sigurd, Deirdre, and Tailtew. 2 others, Ira and Arden, were shown in the reveal trailer and found in the data mine. It was assumed that Ira and Arden would both be given out for free, and players were very pleased by this, seeing how Ira's stats and skills were excellent for the time. Fans of the Genealogy of the Holy War game spent all their orbs on the main banner for Sigurd and Deirdre, looking forward to the free Ira they assumed they would be getting. However, this never happened. A few days later, Ira would show up on an entirely different summoning banner. What's more is that she was on the same banner as another swordsman, Eldigan, meaning people trying to summon for Ira may have ended up getting an Eldigan instead, who was significantly worse. The community was very upset by this move from the developers. They saw it as an underhanded tactic in an effort to try to get more people to spend money on Ira. The people who did end up going all in for Ira may have ended up wreaking havoc in all of the game's modes, if not for one free hard counter to her. And thus, a new meme was born. I know more money to you. I now use the Reinhardt. Tempest Trials Mini. Tempest Trials Mini was an event designed to be less grindy than the normal Tempest Trials. It required you to get half of the normally required points. This change was later made normal for Tempest Trials events, with the name being changed to just Tempest Trials Plus. The name was then changed back to just Tempest Trials, but with the same point requirements. Dev Challenge Maps. The Dev Challenge event took place twice in late 2017 and early 2018, where you could face off against units trained by the developers of the game. Not much to say here. Although what I find funny is that one of the developers, MK1, had Ephraim on their team in both Dev Challenge events. Changing skills used to cost stamina. This one is pretty self-explanatory. When the game first launched, it cost a little bit of stamina to change a unit's skills. As part of the launch celebration event, they made it so it cost 0 stamina as a nice bonus, but then they never changed it back. 4-star focus banners. In 2018, there were 3 occasions where instead of there being 5-star focus units, there were 4-star focus units. These units were already available in the normal summoning pool, but had increased odds to show up on these banners, giving players the opportunity to get these units to plus 10 or grab a bunch of good skills. Oliver is part of the Fluffy Therapy. In part 44 of the official Fire Emblem Heroes manga, The Everyday Life of Heroes, Ike finds the summoner, Sharena, and Erica petting the messenger owl Faye. Sharena explains that they are taking part in Fluffy Therapy to melt away their troubles before battle. There's a long wait time to pet Faye though, so Sharena tells Ike that in the meantime he can pet some other fluffy things, one of which being Oliver and his gorgeous mustache. Bridal Sanaki. Another one of the bigger controversies in the game's history was the introduction of Bridal Sanaki. Every year, special heroes wearing wedding dresses are released, as a little bit of fan service. So when Sanaki, who was said to be 13 years old in Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, was released with a wedding dress alt, people were a little creeped out. Bridal Sanaki has a line in-game which reads, quote, "This is a costume for the festival, don't think of anything weird." So I guess it can be said that it's not being done in a creepy way, but it was still a huge talking point in the community for a while. Introduction of slaying weapons before weapon refinery was a thing. Slaying weapons make your unit's special easier to activate, and can be obtained by upgrading a killer weapon with the same effect but less attack in the weapon refinery. However, before the weapon refinery came out, slaying weapons could be obtained innately through 5-star exclusive units, namely Amelia, Saber, and Nephany. Players spent orbs on these slaying weapons to upgrade their weaker killer weapons, only for the weapon refinery to come out and allow you to upgrade killer weapons directly into slaying weapons, essentially for free. 3 and 4-star rates being reversed. From the game's launch up until August 7th, 2017, when summoning you had a 36% chance of getting a 4-star and a 58% chance of getting a 3-star. These odds were then reversed, so you had a 36% chance of getting a 3-star and a 58% chance of getting a 4-star. This remains in effect today. Kiran murdered wrys in front of Sharena. Chapter 11 of the Everyday Life of Heroes manga opens with Wrys telling Sharena how humbled he is to be considered a hero at his old age. Sharena is touched by this, and she asks him to be friends. She's then interrupted by the summoner, whose canonical name is Kiran, bursting into the room and saying, "Excuse me, rehabilitate and live to serve please," implying that he is going to inherit Wrys' skills to another unit. The next panel shows Sharena crying and Kiran saluting Wrys as he ascends to the heavens. This implies that when we inherit a unit skill, we are literally killing them. Oh, plus 8,000 SP glitch. In mid-2018, a glitch existed in Fire Emblem Heroes that allowed you to max out your unit's SP, or currency you use to learn skills, in minutes. You would go into the map, kill an enemy, restart the map, and repeat. Every time you restarted the map, the amount of SP you would receive from killing the enemy would double. This would keep going until you would get 768 SP per kill, and then you could repeat the process. This glitch was in the game for nearly a week before it was patched out in an update. Kiran is the horniest person in Fae. I'm not exactly sure what this one is referring to, but I have 2 ideas. It's either the fact that Kiran is pretty down bad for the heroes in the Everyday Life of Heroes manga, or just the fact that you, as the playable summoner whose canon name is Kiran, spend all your orbs on the hottest units. Either way, yeah, I guess they're pretty horny. Kiran knows in-universe about pair-up, capture, evasion, and dragon veins. In Chapter 19 of the Everyday Lives of Heroes manga, Kiran, the summoner, orders his units to do various actions that can't be done in Fire Emblem Heroes and only previous titles in the series. He then says, "Isn't this supposed to be a mix of the whole series? What can I do in this game?" This implies that the playable summoner, and even other heroes, know that they're in a video game. But really, it was just meant to be a funny fourth wall break. New hero banner trailers in 2017 showed who was going to demote based on the rarity during combat showcases. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Earlier on, trailers would actually show who would be demoted, and nowadays it's always just implied that it's the third unit shown off. Distant Defense 1 Seal used to be meta. Before the Sacred Seal Forge was introduced, there weren't too many great options for Sacred Seals, leading Distant Defense 1 to be the best possible option on a lot of tanks. Every unit in Fire Emblem Heroes is personalized. I just threw this one on here. It wasn't on the original Iceberg, which is an honest to God shame, because that's just a requirement for every Iceberg chart. Well, that's it for the Fire Emblem Heroes Iceberg. We finally reached the bottom. I want to give a huge shout out to you/Yonoi Rishi for putting this together a while ago on the Fire Emblem Heroes subreddit. This chart was awesome, and I hope my explanations helped you learn a little bit about the game. If you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you go ahead and subscribe. I make Fire Emblem Heroes content like tier lists and stuff, and also I stream right here on YouTube. We're going to be doing the Mario for 10 hours in the future, you know, the... Do the Mario! Yeah, that. Live on stream. You simply cannot miss that. But seriously, thank you guys so much for watching. It really means so much to me that you'd stick around for this long. Goodbye.